Evening, y'all. It's Josh from Pokejax. Hope you had a terrific weekend and happy Monday to you. Today, I'm going to be talking about how Tcgplayer has helped my business, 904pokejax.com. And what I'm going to talk about here is more or less I'm going to say free advertisement, but cheap advertisement. So recently, I've been using Tcgplayer. Not a super fan, 12%. Same thing with eBay, 13.9%. Take a huge chunk. But when I look at it, if I sell a bunch of singles, like penny singles, 5-cent singles, and I've sold some big stuff. Like recently, I sold Inferno X Charizard, special illustration rare, no problem, right? But what I do is every card that's sold, one of these gets slapped in there. Doesn't matter if it's card, binder, whatever insulator product that sells on TCG, I put this in there. This one's a direct link to the website. I have one for YouTube, TikTok, also for a thank you with the 5% promo. So I try to think of creative ways, especially certain folks start, repeatedly order, especially through the website. But what I've noticed is since I've been doing Tcgplayer and putting those in there, I am getting more outside views than, outside the state of Florida. So I want to say it's working. I've had a couple more sales outside the state of Florida, so the outreach is getting there. Now, granted, yep, it's 12%. But when you look at it, I think after fees, it's like 98 cents. You get back, off of penny. Tcgplayer, I think it's I'm a level 4, so you spend $5, you get free shipping. And what I'm starting to do is put more singles on my website. That's, not necessarily at market price, and I try to stay in that $5 free shipping range. And I got certain cards, set up for that, and I have it set up where, hey, you spend $5, you get free shipping on singles, right? So, try to keep the website aligned with Tcgplayer. I also do that with the grading portion of it. It was a couple days ago, a gentleman hit me up for the Mewtwo Light Played from Destined Rivals. It was on the website. We talked. I was like, hey, I'm considering an LP. It's got, 2 little white marks. Maybe it's more not near mint or near mint. So we met up and I got $420 for it. It was a good deal for me. It was a good deal for him. He was looking for a binder card at a fair price. He didn't, he'd consider it near mint. I was like, hey man, we talked. It was $420. I'm good with it. It's an extra great, meets the need that you want. You're not looking for a grade. You're looking to complete your master set. So it worked out for the both of us. But I've sold a lot of $1, $2, $5, $15 cards on Tcgplayer, and like I said, I slap a sticker in there. What I'm noticing is that the area that these folks are buying from is starting to appear in analytics. So, is it free marketing? Nah. But is it easy marketing? Yes. I'm not paying anything on Facebook. I use TikTok, I'm using Instagram, using YouTube. But this is like one of those creative ideas that I thought I was like, hey, why don't I start slapping these stickers into the Tcgplayer orders? And I print out the packing slip. I'll write a note in there. Whoever the name is, thank you for the support. Check us out. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, since it's over in that area. And I'll slap a sticker in there. Like I said, I've gotten a few sales. I mean, heck, even ancillary products like this have recently started to sell. I was shocked to sell a Sylveon Lego set. But it's helping, and then, I'm starting to get some things from distro. I'm starting to get, buy things out in the wild because it's a fire sale. And I will say this about Jacksonville in general is like, nobody wants to go past 90%. So it becomes difficult, but, some people, they're 85, depending on the item. I'm comfortable with 80, 90%, I'm striving for 80, 85%. Turn that around, not even selling at full market still, and trying to get product out there for folks. But I'm starting to get some things. Got Phantasmal Flames ETB, which I'll get posted up. I've been having some Azure Lane, the Wii short sets. Zelda. I love Zelda. Surprised I haven't sold any more of these, but the binders, whatnot. A lot of ancillary products. But I'm getting into that portion. I'm going to say portion, that part of distro where it's getting a little difficult for me to move those products. I'm really hoping February rolls around and I will get some Ascended Heroes. I put every possible pre-order that's popped up. Even the Charizard tins that recently popped up on distro. and I'm really hoping it works out. Even if I get the littlest amount, that helps the business. Because it is difficult to sell ancillary products. But like I said, it's free marketing. eBay, Tcgplayer. Like I said, I'll sell some of this stuff on there. Make a little, break even, lose a little, but every one of those gets a sticker in it, or one of the variants of the stickers. Hey, I'm 94 Pokejacks. Maybe you should come check it out. A little bit cheaper than Tcgplayer sometimes. Maybe it's about the same. Shipping costs and whatnot. But I'll say like the Ultra Pro binders, right? These little Gengar binders were like $51, $52.99 on there. I'm selling like $39 plus shipping. What is it, 36? I gotta look again. I think it was like 36, 39. Even with $10 shipping, you're still below what Ultra Pro was selling before. So I'm still below the MSRP. And I'm trying to sell things at 5% over distro price. Because Wix takes 3. If I get 2, and then shipping, that's a win for me. If I break even, cool. But maybe something to think about. Never been a fan of Tcgplayer, but like I said, it's good marketing, especially when you're only you're selling penny cards and you're getting 80, 97, 98 cents back. But in the long term, you're getting a customer. And if you wrap things really good or you pack it really well, oh man, this dude's really good. I try to pack everything to the best of my ability, especially with the expensive cards. Even the penny cards, penny sleeve, top loader, team bag. Lower tier cards, I got a little cutter for cardboard. I'll put in a cardboard. Like the Charizard I shipped out. Get the guards, put the PVC tape around. Even the cheaper cards, I'll do PVC tape, or I'll use painter's tape. But higher, I look at it as a tier value, but they're still getting protected. But good presentation right off the bat. Hey, they see your website. Hey, they're seeing that you're selling singles on your website, or they're seeing you're selling Pokemon products, or Reese, or Nikki Girls, whatever the case may be. It's a win. So give it a try. It's free marketing. Doesn't hurt. Get your name out there. Good presentation. Looks awesome. Get repeat customers and get advertisement. That wraps up today's discussion. Like I said, wasn't a huge fan of Tcgplayer, but using it as a marketing tool has improved analytics and visibility of my site across the country, or at least in the United States. But other than that, y'all have a great week as we get closer to Christmas, and I wish you and yours truly the best.